This was an accident and happened about 10 years ago. I had recently joined a Chinese-owned company in a fairly prominent position, and being the only white guy in the company, they liked to send me to trade shows in China to indicate that the company was definitely not Chinese. I was sent to Guangzhou to the hotel around the corner from the convention center, extraneous detail not really needed, but here to show this is genuine. Of course, with a convention center in town with many visitors, the prostitute madams/agents were out in force. Most of the people handing out cards for whores were very young kids, seriously young. They looked about 10 years old or younger. Often the only English they spoke was, "You buy, so cheap." Every time I had kids pushing cards into my hands, into my pockets, or dropped into any boxes I was carrying. Most of the time that was that. End of story. On my second to last day, I went out with the sole intention of buying presents for my wife and daughter, when after the first shop I was approached by an older madam who would not leave me alone. So cheap. Even my protestations that I was married and not interested was met with, "Your wife not here, you buy. So cheap." Eventually, she said, "Tell me your room number." I sent girl to your room. Just $200. Thinking this was the best way to get rid of her, I said, $200. Okay, I'm in room 1024, and then carried on shopping. Since this was a fake room number and I had no intention of carrying out the transaction, I promptly forgot about it. Next day, last day of the show, I was told the boss had flown to Beijing and I was needed to help a colleague collect some stuff from his hotel room. I walked with my colleague, dodging the kids with prostitute cards, back to the hotel until I was standing outside my boss's room. Room 1024. I have never, ever dared ask or say anything to my boss about this. Only my wife knows this story. And so too, do you. TL/DR. I accidentally sent a hooker to my boss's hotel room, pretty much what it says in the title.
Sure, if this was the case, the boss would have confronted me about sending him a gift and making him pay for it.
Did you check your next paycheck to see if he deducted $200?
Never dared ask him to find out.
Well, what happened after? In actuality, your boss is just a psychic and used you as his proxy also. And that's a good thing they weren't collecting in advance or anything.
There's no way to ask without putting the spotlight on yourself, so smart move.
Brilliant, I should have thought of that 10 years ago.
Never been tempted live, my wife.
You don't advance pay prostitutes since he was not even in his room if he had pay. They most likely won't even show up.
So there is a chance that typo indicates it, "You buy so cheap."
I imagine you thought of this response many years ago and have been checking AITA Thailand every day just to use it until finally today. You read this and said, "Fuck it, this is good enough."
When you live and learn. If I am ever tempted to hire a hooker, I
Must remember no advance payments. No offense, Swap, but I don't necessarily think not cheating on your wife would.
A hooker qualifies someone as an awesome husband. That's sort of just run of the
No non-scumbag behavior.
If he paid in advance, I don't suppose she would have been
Too upset at a wasted journey.
phones. No love. Transaction yummy.
bloody phone often corrects love to live. Don't know why.
Correct translation from Mandarin. White devil sent me here.
Every offense taken, I am an awesome husband, but seriously I am happy to accept run-of-the-mill non-scumbag behavior as a compliment.
Hey, I know this sounds weird, but be any chance he was there? All middle of the night here yesterday, totally unsuspicious. The prostitute did not get into the hotel because of security. The end.
China, Thailand, what is the difference besides from a few thousand miles and significant cultural differences? That is
The apex survivor. Human trafficking. If someone did that to me, I'd invite her in for a game of Magic the Gathering.
Offer prostitute weather we've been having recently, Don T, you think?
As the only non-Chinese person in the company, I don't think this would work somehow.
Sure you are. I only mean your awesomeness doesn't come solely from the
fact you turned down an offer for sex with a prostitute, lol.
Maybe I am a former prostitute, haha, me too, thanks.
What if your boss uses Reddit and confronts you on this? Tomorrow at work, so you sent my wife to me all those years ago. I
thought she just wanted some company.
I think you're remixing up Mandarin and Cantonese, or I doubt he reads Reddit, but hey, you never know. Ocean human and ghost person are actually kind of fun. Girl of certain coquettishness always request a girl with a big bag of coquettishness. You sent her to room 1024 for just 1 gig. I wonder if your boss took a bite.
Isn't he that sub for innocuous mistakes, not puns? Gives monosker a whole new meaning.
This absolutely nothing happened. I am presuming the first white men came by sea.
Nice recovery there, A+.
So like wouldn't it just be so funny if like a prostitute just I don't know showed up at your hotel room, haha, like. Wow, that's so crazy. Has that ever happened to you? The usual address, I order girls to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and it better be a huge bag of coquettishness this time, Vladimir.
They hate us. I've misspelled, right so many times the autocorrect.
Thinks rigged is the way it ought to be. That hooker.
Do if by land.
Research the shit the Chinese have to deal with. It can be pretty fucked up. Thailand is popular in the trans community for offering cheap and quality sex reassignment surgeries.
China, not Thailand.
As requested, a girl with a big bag of coquettishness coming your way. Accidentally, of course. Now what is your address?
In this day and age, thank you for not cheating and actually caring about your wife. Very rare to find what should be normal anymore.
Am I the only one who thinks $200 is not so cheap?
Yep, the year and month of my birth then.
Frankation, because I am also immature.
This guy does not computer science op was making a CS joke.
Where is he now? So much time has passed, I bet you LL.
Both get a laugh of it if you ask.
Objection!
His office is only 600 meters from my house. Not sure I want to approach him, though might
have to explain in another confession or tifu.
Hilarious story in just commenting, because your username is 69 in French and I'm immature.
I think anyone else's expression would change if they casually heard that phrase.
Bob did not give $200 to this person, no way.
And I sent boom boom. You are my favorite person this evening. If I were a hooker sent to a room and was offered a game of Magic instead, I'd be so excited.
Have you ever been to Asia? That's all over there, son. Places are much more in your face about it.
Maybe you watch Love Live. In which case you would still have fucked.
Objection!
Watch this space. Bloody hell, I am turning into a karma whore. My first time there, the tour director warned us of 2 things. 1. Prostitutes are known to knock on your hotel room door. 2. They are all
riddled with AIDS. We took him at his word.
Boxes of marketing material, nothing exciting. You should have said to your boss, did you buy so cheap?
Or spicing things up with an impromptu 3-way.
Not if they paid in advance. Do a treat the karma.
Send your boss this post anonymously.
Besides putting the room number unless it was a fake number.
Oh, the kids were just handing out cards. I thought they were prostitutes and I was getting really weirded out.
Though I didn't pay for a prostitute at all, I just agreed a price. And gave her a fake room number.
10 years ago I should be safe now, and this is my anonymous account. She probably knocked on the door, and assuming your boss speaks Mandarin or Cantonese, he likely told them to FCK off or come in.
The crust of a tan man imbibed by the sand.
Sometimes it is magical, sometimes it is just about as satisfying as wanking with a lifelike prosthetic that keeps asking, if you are now, give her a bonus.
I read woefully too little, so the best I could recommend is Googling for a while. Apologies for disappointing.
Awesome for doing the expected.
This guy knows.
Quite possible I prefer to be called White Show Pony, though, rather than White Monkey.
He never said he did.
Asian street meat.
Is that why they call it now magic? You paid $200 for a prostitute in China, $200.
Because it was the biggest hotel in the area, and also because she followed me from outside.
The hotel to the shops where I was going pressy shopping.
What did you collect from his room?
I did say it, you did.
Only $200, probably would have taken RMB 200. No idea who Ace Attorney is.
And could be a risky search at work.
I have never had hookers knocking at the door at the hotels I've stayed at, but...
Then they have never been booked in my name, but by my Chinese customers' aides.
Wouldn't doubt it for a second.
I am definitely not involved in computer science.
How could I ever know that? Where would I even ask that question?
Where does ocean person stem from?
I would not have been able to do this. This is awesome that you did.
Room 1024, of course. I politely beat her off the equals Savic.
That's a good rep. 1 in 699. I just checked hotel on the website.
699 rooms, odds not that high.
Oh, I see, little nuts.
Up wild will now hope it doesn't come back to haunt you in any form. On a hot day casually say, man, I am sweetened like a whore in church, or something similar. See if his facial expression changes. I tried Tifu, it was rejected.
More like overseas, I think.
Lemon 5 hours.
Low given how many falls, so very short of the minimum expected, yeah.
Maybe doing the expected is pretty awesome.
Are all retrefits?
Boxes, you sure they were not amp?
Well, Diddy-kun. These are just some things you don't talk about in public.
I tried originally, but the mods deleted it as nothing happened beyond.
Minor embarrassment, they suggested confessions.
It happens in China a lot. Apparently hooker knocks you open the door, she comes in and makes a lot
of fuss until you either pay her to go away or the hotel. Esco police are called.
The Quincy is the Wachatu translation. Excuse me, did you just say white devil?
I think you mean sexy saxophone.
He has a bloody good rep.
Indexing the exchange rate is involved, in which 200 would be extremely
cheap, as currently 1 CNY translates to 0.15 United States dollars.
And 10 years ago.
Maybe they thought they could rip him off because he looked like a tourist. Thanks, username. I've been living outside the UK for almost 20 years. I went back to my hometown to find it has almost tripled in size and
seems to be mostly Polish citizens now. I don't understand how she knew what hotel to go to.
What a guy.
It could have been worse. You could have sent her to a couple's hotel.
Raymond ended up ruining a marriage.
Is he still your boss now?
You just saved him a phone call, bro.
Dong Fang Hai.
S6 VMR FFD D are 2 meters.
I think whenever your boss leaves to accompany you.
Should take a minute to tell him this story for the lulz.
Chances are she needed a room key or front desk authorization to go in, so she did get past front.
Ask who called you have a visitor and was
Told wrong.
That's crazy.
There to be a fly on the wall at their house that night.
That would have been bloody funny. I should do that with my current boss.
Please teach us more.
And means ocean as in Pacific Ocean, the direction from which Europeans would have been.
Coming so I believe really means western rather than the literal ocean. Ask now and find out.
Please say it contains a problem solver aka hitman lol p.
No, not too far off the mark though. But what happens if she knows how to turn cards sideways? Happy Cake Day.
Thank you.
Honestly, I have no idea.
I think op is not American, maybe Aussie or from the UK.
The exchange didn't vary too much on either of those conversions either. In fact, the euro was cheaper.
Yeah, this story is so blatantly fake. Lol, if he said $40, that's more realistic in China. $200 for a hooker would get you something special, not a street girl being sold by some bum.
No ex-boss, but worked for him for almost 10 years, before I left to go self-employed.
I thought it was a tiffy. The mods felt it was a minor embarrassment and suggest I come here.
He never found out it was me, so nothing to be said.
Well, this thing with white people in such jobs is a common business practice in China, as you said it.
post this post on our Tifu.
Prediction 100.
As long as he didn't find out it's okay, he probably thought they were just knocking on doors and hoped someone would invite them in. Why didn't he? The
Company want to look like a Chinese company.